and how do you pronounce your first name? Heaven, or is it Heaven or Heaven? I guess Heaven's fine. All right, guys. So I'm going to be your teacher for this Target Teach. So, Heaven. Okay, thank you for correcting me. Thank you very much. That's a big help. So where are you guys from? It's spelled Heaven. Okay. All right. Dalen, well, let me start out by saying I'm working Delaware. Good. So I live in New York. Oh, and Phoebe's here. I didn't notice that Phoebe was here. Okay. Hi. Phoebe. So I live in New York. I live in Brooklyn, New York. I'm sure you guys have heard of Brooklyn. So I'm originally from the Northeast, and it looks like we have a number of states represented here in the chat. Delaware, which is cool. Love Delaware. Indiana is an awesome state. And Maryland, wow, that's great. My mom was born and raised. Okay. Yeah, Buffalo. I know Buffalo quite well. It's quite far. It's a bit of a ways from Brooklyn, but I've been to Buffalo a few times. Niagara Falls is awesome. And you got to remember, Buffalo is known for its buffalo wings. So, yeah, it's a beautiful city. Very pretty. Okay, so is Dalen, what's one thing you can tell me about yourself that maybe no one would think of, or something that's surprising about yourself? Okay. How about you, Heaven? I had cancer when I was 5. I'm sorry to hear that, though. How about you, Heaven? What's one thing you can say, you can tell us or tell me about yourself that I wouldn't know? Okay, well, that's awesome, Dale, and I'm very, very happy. That's awesome. Very good news. I hope it stays that way. I play video games whenever I have downtime. Awesome. Video games are awesome. I don't have time to play video games anymore. But I used to, especially when I was your age. I loved video games. I loved playing Mario Brothers. Probably sounds quite old to you guys, at least the ones that I used to play on the Nintendo. But when I was your age, I used to play all the time. I like programming. Okay. Cool. Cool. Hi, Alexander. This is Mr. Hello, Alexander. This is Mr. Okay. Alexander, hello. I see you on video. How are you today? That's good. You know, I have a PlayStation 4 and I haven't played it. I just don't have the time. It's in my living room. I have a bunch of games and I just don't have the time to play them. But my dad has. Yeah, I used to have the PlayStation 2 also. It's pretty old, but I guess it still works as long as you've got the power cord in the games. Cool, cool. Does anyone have an Oculus or a VR headset where you play games? Cousin has PS3 and PS4. Play on the computer. Okay. I used to play computer games also. Again, I don't have the time to play them anymore, but I used to play a lot when I was a kid. That's awesome. What about you, Alexander? We were talking about where I live in Brooklyn. I'm from the Northeast. Everyone was telling me what state they're from. What state do you live in, Alexander? Xbox is awesome. Uh-oh. Well, I'm sorry to hear someone stole your Xbox, Phoebe. Is Alexander, you're in Moscow? Yes? Okay. I can't hear you on the video, by the way, but you're muted. Okay. I love Moscow. Haven't been there, but I did fair amount of traveling, and I've been to Kiev a while ago, which is the closest that I've gotten to Moscow, Kiev in the Ukraine. But I hope once the pandemic passes, I can do a little bit more traveling. Wow, that's cold. Okay, that's awesome. All right, so today we are supposed to be talking about thesis statements, right? I know it sounds exciting. 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. Yeah, I still have a difficult time converting Celsius to Fahrenheit, but I spent a fair amount of time overseas, so I have a general idea of what Celsius is in terms of to convert to Fahrenheit. But yeah, that's definitely very cold. All right, so yeah, good point, Dylan. At 32. Okay, so we're supposed to be going over our thesis statements today. How to write a thesis statement. So yep, negative 20 degrees Celsius equals negative 4 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, that's cool. So I guess to start this out, why don't can everyone try writing a thesis statement about yourself first? And then if you feel comfortable, maybe what I should do is share some examples of thesis statements first. So let's go over what a thesis statement is. So for example, I'll type it in the chat. Okay, so there's a thesis statement. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are the best type of sandwich because they are easy to make and taste good. Okay. Here's another one. We should wear school. Well, let's see. Let's try a different one. Zoos should be banned because need to remain in the wild. Okay, so that's a second example of a thesis statement. Zoos should be banned because animals need to remain in the wild. All right. So can you practice writing your own thesis statement? Coding is one of the most important things on a computer. Okay. Dalen, I guess that's your thesis statement. Coding animals are getting hunted in the wild. I didn't notice that you were here, Hannah. So, hello. I don't know if I said hello to you before. Didn't mean to ignore you. Okay. Yes, Dalen. I think that was if that was your thesis statement, then that was a good one. So, can anyone else come up with a thesis statement? Okay, Alexandria. Rescuing a dog from a shelter is a good thing to do because you save its life. Excellent. That's awesome. Very good. So Alexandra and Dalen have come up with very good thesis statements so far. Can anyone else try? Just use those examples or use the ones that I put in the chat earlier as your guide. I rescued my 2 dogs. Okay. Well, that's not a thesis statement, but that's a good thing to know. How about Hannah and Heaven? If you feel comfortable, do you want to try typing in the chat just to practice writing a thesis statement? I would rather buy a dog from a breeder because you know how it's being treated and trained. Okay. All right. I think that's good. Dallin? Hannah, climate change is important because people live on the earth and we need to take care of it better or the earth will go bad. Wow, that's good. I'm very impressed with that. My favorite dog is a pit bull. Yeah, I think pit bulls are cute. They're cute dogs. I live in a neighborhood where everyone seems to have a dog. I don't have a dog right now. I plan to get one though, but um, a lot of my neighbors it seems like own dogs here, so you have to watch where you walk. But usually they're pretty good with picking up dog poop. But every once in a while, you just have to be careful. um, yeah, there you go, a landmine. So let's see. So your thesis statements are good. I think I've heard from almost everyone. Let's see. I have that problem too with my dogs in the backyard. Well, okay, because of it's New York City, most people in New York City don't have backyards, so everyone has to go out and they walk their dogs. But if we lived like in the suburbs, then people would have backyards and they could let their dogs run around and poop and pee and do whatever. But instead of that, they do that on the sidewalk and on the streets here in the city. But they have to pick up after themselves. It's a law that they have to do that. Okay. Yeah, the Statue of Liberty is a famous tourist attraction. It's one of the most famous places to visit when you come to New York. That's cool. Who was that? Down. Dalen. But the best is Arlington National Cemetery. I was in Arlington over the summer. I was in Arlington and Alexandria and Washington, D.C. It was a really cool time. Really enjoyed it. Okay, so let's see. Um, all right. So why don't we try doing? I think we've done some group work already. Why don't we try going into a breakout room and practicing with each other? Okay. Maybe Mr. Rao can show me how to do breakout rooms. Mr. Rao, are you there?
How many rooms would you like?
Um, let's see. How many students do we have here?
4.
4. Okay. So I guess we just need 2 breakout rooms. Well, if we divide, I think we should just maybe do 2 breakout rooms. How does that sound?
That's fine with me. I don't know if you're actually asking students or asking me. I'm trying to not say anything. Pardon me.
That's fine. Yeah, let's do 2. And I haven't done the breakout rooms on this platform.
Okay.
So just
So you see this arrow right here?
yeah.
All right, go up to tools again,
Okay.
and then click on the lower right hand corner where it says breakout.
Okay.
Oh, Cutter's here too. So
Oh,
good.
okay. Cool. All
All
right.
right. So let me know when you've done that breakout. And
I have.
okay.
Well, like I haven't put the students in any.
All right. Well, it'll randomize them. If you just have 2 rooms set up, and then I'll take a room. You can take a room.
Hold on. So just gonna do 2 rooms. Okay. Okay. So there's Cutter, Hannah, Phoebe are in one room, and Dalen and Alexander are in the other one.
Okay. So if you get that started, hold on. You can set a timer.
Okay.
When that timer goes off, everyone will be pulled in kind of violently to the main room, like in mid discussion. Oftentimes, it won't show us how much time is left, but you can do that,
Okay.
or you can exit another way, whichever you prefer. I would suggest maybe having a time limit.
All right. So I set a 15-minute time limit.
And then you can change that as well, and then just pop in to my room or click on moderator chat to let me know
Okay.
what your plans are, and I can communicate that to the students in the room I'm in.
Sure. And how do I jump in? It'll be obvious, pretty obvious how to do it.
Yes, you'll be able to see it around the top
Okay.
where it says manage breakout.
All right. So I'm gonna start it now. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Sure. All right, looks like the breakout. There we go.
Okay. Is everybody back in the main session? Looks like it. Okay, so does anyone have any questions about thesis statements or um, how to write a thesis statement or about the essay? Okay. Um, does anyone want to share any more examples of thesis statements? Just to practice. The more practice, the better. That way you can do an awesome job on the essay. I may try. Okay, Alexandra, that's fine. Okay, so let me just read over Dalen's thesis. All ancient civilizations had trade, but what were the secrets behind their trade? Why was China so selfish to keep silk production secretive? Okay. Um, very good. Alexandra, all four civilizations had their systems of writing. Still, they all were different. The systems brought some fair judgment to people's lives. It also didn't allow new rulers change previous rules and adapt them to their own whims and desires. Okay. Wow, that's very in depth. Okay. I like that, Alexandra. I think that was very good. Very good. Okay, so we're gonna just do a quick review before we wrap up this target teach. Okay, Hannah, very good. Very good. So we're just gonna wrap up. Um, so as I mentioned, I just want you to remember that you should review pages 149 to 159 in your student guide to plan your essay. Um, you need to address the essay prompt completely. And just continue practicing your thesis statements on your own, right? Before you write your essay. That way you're doing a really good job. I'm really impressed with everyone today and the target teach. It makes me feel really good. I'm really confident that you're going to do an excellent job on the essay based on what I've seen here today. Okay. And so for your essay, I just want to make sure that you're going to write at least 4 paragraphs in the breakout room. I know Hannah and Phoebe mentioned one of them mentioned that they wanted to write more than that, and I said that's great. If you want to write 5 paragraphs, that's awesome. But just focus. Make sure that those paragraphs that you write are the very best paragraphs that you're able to write. So don't write too many if you don't think it's going to be good. Just write. If you think you can only do 4 or 5, then that's fine too. Okay. You want to make sure that the thesis is focused, like the ones that Alexandra and Dalen offered. Those are very focused thesis statements. Use those 2 that they put in the chat as an example to write your thesis statement. And again, just build your essay around the thesis. Every paragraph should support the thesis. Use the textbook. There were some questions about the conclusion being the hardest part. Okay, I know that, but just use it to wrap up, and use the textbook to help you. It should really summarize your conclusion. It's going to summarize everything. It's going to wrap everything up based upon your thesis. Just keep that in mind. All right. And again, review and read aloud your thesis statement to someone else before you hit submit. That way you can get someone else's opinion and do your very best job. Okay. So, I know you can do it, but just make sure someone else, is able to check it out first. Any other questions before we wrap up? Mr. Rao, do you have anything else to add to this?
No, just make sure that you are stating an opinion in your thesis. Your thesis is 1 sentence within the introduction paragraph. And in that, you're going to state an opinion as though it's fact. Like, religion was the most important factor in the development of the River Valley civilization, something like that, where it's something that you'll have to prove. The rest of your essay, you spend proving that opinion.
Okay. Any final thoughts before we leave for the day? If not, then I'm gonna. Okay. Well, you are free to go, and I'm glad that you guys came by today, and I found a ruler. So I'll see you guys tomorrow in class. All right. Have a good day. Stay safe. Thanks for coming.
Bye.
Bye.
So, Mr. Sawyer, you and I should talk a little bit after here.
Okay.
So in order to end the recording, we'll go up to tools and hit recording. I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Okay. All right.
Unless you'd like us to. Well, no.